Okay, alright, in this video, as you can see, I'm going to explain the 3 problems we're facing that are stopping us from scaling to 100k per month. If you don't know me, my name's Oscar Bull. I run an info product agency. You've probably seen them before, you'll probably see them again, but essentially I want to explain exactly what problems we're facing with where we're currently at. Where are we currently at, you may ask? Currently, we've got 5 to 6 done for you clients across the board, doing between $300,000 and $400,000 cash collected a month. So we're not complete beginners, but we're not quite at that 100k per month mark just yet. So in this video, I'm going to explain the 3 things that are going to get us there, and the 3 things I really need to focus on to essentially allow us to get there as well, because I do play a huge role, especially as this business is still below that 7-figure a year run rate mark, and we're planning to get it there within the next quarter or 2 quarters. So let me just get straight into things. Okay, so as you guys can see, the first thing we're going to need to focus on is allocation and outsourcing. Those 2 things fall under the same kind of umbrella. What I'm meaning is outsourcing work to different people within the company and 2 different employees or co-founders, whatever you want to call it, within the team as well, is going to be insanely important when it comes to scaling to 100k a month. Okay, so the first thing under this umbrella here is making sure I can trust my team and my team knows exactly what they're going to do. How do I do this? I build SOPs. Excuse my horrible handwriting. So SOPs on everything within inside the business: marketing, sales, onboarding, recruiting, scaling offers, ads, different funnels. You know, everything needs to be SOP. So essentially people have got a step-by-step roadmap on exactly what you need to do within the company and what other people need to do, just so they've got kind of a reference to go off of. The next thing, and probably the most important thing, is I need to make sure I can trust and rely on my team. Now, trusting and relying on my team is easier said than done. Essentially, how are you going to get these guys to rely on you, and how are you going to trust them if they don't know exactly what you're doing? Hence why we've got SOPs here. They all kind of fall into the same thing, and you can see that not one of these is going to scale me to 100k a month or scale us to 100k a month, but a combination of everything combined. Now, relying on my team is only going to be possible once my SOPs are done, hence why I'm doing them at the moment, we're completing them at the moment, we're building things out that are essentially allowing us to scale to those 100k months because we've got that foundation set. Now, third and final for this first thing is systems. I need to build out systems, or I need to refine my systems when it comes to client work, when it comes to fulfillment, when it comes to exactly what we need to do when it comes to scaling clients from 300 to 600k a month, or 50k a month to 200k a month, or even acquiring clients, right? I need to trust in those systems I'm building. How do I build trust in those systems? Essentially, I just need to make sure they're validated and working correctly through my own trial and error, which is what I've been doing the last 1.5 to 2 years that I've been doing this business in particular. Now, that moves on to the second problem I am currently facing, or the second hurdle I need to overcome, I'd like to say, to get to that 100k a month mark. What that is, I don't know if you guys can see that, but essentially it is the 20%. The 20% of work that is going to provide the 80% of results. The 20% of work that only I as a founder can do when it comes to scaling the business. This can be things like filming the YouTube video that I'm doing right now. This can be posting short form content, jumping on sales calls, closing deals, like internal agency deals, building the brand up, and specific little marketing things that maybe only I can do, or specific sales things that only I can do for whatever reason, whether it be there are no SOPs, I can't rely on my team for it, or the system for it isn't fully complete yet. So essentially that is the 20%. Let's break down exactly what is within the 20%, just like we did with the allocation and outsourcing. Okay, first thing is essentially what I just spoke about. What do I need to do to scale the business and not just maintain the business, okay? This is going to be things like content, like branding, like, specific marketing or sales tasks that only I can do because I'm lacking in our first problem, right? Now, the next thing is going to be time allocation towards that. How am I supposed to break up my day, and how am I supposed to do the 20% when I'm constantly doing the 80% that has kept us stuck at our current revenue range? How am I supposed to focus on that? I need to allocate my time better. I need to improve my time allocation, and I need to essentially have trust in the system as a whole. So time allocation is going to be the second thing within the 20% that is going to scale us to 100k a month. Now, this sounds dumb, but I honestly think time allocation is the most important thing when it comes to scaling a business. Time allocated to specific tasks is like a big conversation I've had with myself, and a big thing you need to have with yourself if you're scaling an offer, if you're scaling an agency maybe like mine, or if you're just trying to get into online business. You need to understand time allocation and the importance of it specifically. Now, The next thing in the 20% is having trust in my judgment. Having trust that this 20% that I'm speaking about over here is actually the 20%. Isn't just some random, task that I'm wanting to do because I'm really not trying to do what I need to do. I always say it, but you're where you're at right now because you didn't do the things you didn't want to do. Essentially what that means is the reason you haven't scaled is because you're not doing what you don't want to do, right? Like the things that got me here aren't going to take me to the next level. Like I can't expect to do the same thing over and over again and jump to the next level. It's just retarded, right? It's just not smart at all. So again, that is kind of like the third thing. I don't even know if I can put into words. I guess you could call it belief and trust, but I'll just leave this one blank for now because I can't really describe it or articulate it to the degree I want to, so I don't want to sound like an absolute idiot in front of who knows how many people, maybe 5 people, maybe 1,000 people. Not sure. Now, this is moving on to the third and final thing. This is honestly super important as well. I'm not going to say, one's the most important thing, two's the most important thing, or even three's the most important thing, because these aren't separate tasks. These aren't separate problems. All of these problems are joining together, just like that. They're all a part of one major problem, which has led to us not hitting our goal of $100,000 a month in a singular month, and month over month, right? So all these problems have attributed to the outcome not being achieved. It's not like 3 separate problems that we've got to tackle. Like, once I've tackled the allocation and outsourcing problem, 20% is going to get much, much easier because I'm outsourcing all of the 80%. So I have more time to focus on that. Same thing with the time allocation, right? If I can fix the time allocation and have more time to focus on my 20%, my team is going to see the business scaling and essentially be more motivated to scale the business, right? It's like all in one. Now, let me get into the third and final kind of problem we're facing right now to scale us to 100K a month. And that problem is, I'm looking at my sheet right now, is skill mastery, okay? Now, skill mastery. I am decent at everything. I like to say that I'm decent at sales, I'm decent at automation, I'm decent at back-end systems, I'm decent at data reading, I'm decent at team management, I'm decent at culture building. Like, I'm decent at everything, but I need to take everything to the next level, right? When it comes to sales skills, when it comes to management skills, when it comes to marketing skills, when it comes to, I even like improving my identity and becoming the person who makes 100K a month. I need to improve that on a actual skill-based level and also on a mental level as well. Now, how am I going to improve that? It's just by doing, right? Just do it. Like Nike says it all the time, or it's the slogan, I think, right? Just do it is going to be such a big factor in scaling to 100K a month. Don't want to do some work? Just do it. Don't want to, stay up an extra hour and do this? Just do it, Don't want to film this YouTube video? What am I doing? I'm just doing it. So that is going to be a big thing when it comes to skill mastery. Specific skills I really want to get really, really good at, and skills I want to kind of understand at a really good level is, again, marketing, sales, and team management. But I don't want to understand these skills so I'm taking away from our team members and co-founders and that sort of thing. I want to stack these skills so I can aid these people in times of hardship. I don't want to replace people, I want to aid people and improve people, right? I'm not here to take their job. I'm here to help make it easier and help their kind of output so they can focus on their individual 20%. Not only am I focusing on my 20%, but Sasha's focusing on his 20%, Devon's focusing on his 20%, Krish is focusing on his 20%. So everyone's focusing on their 20%, which is essentially going to allow the business to exponentially scale. Because if people are focusing on what they're really, really good at and really, really passionate about, their drive and hunger is just going to go through the roof, and our results are going to follow. So something I really want to convey and understand is I'm not trying to take people's jobs. I'm not trying to get so good that I don't need anyone. I'm trying to get so good that I can aid people at what they're already good at. Because there's no point someone learning something twice. Like, there's no point 2 people learning the same thing. There's no point. There really isn't. Like, obviously there's a little bit of a point, but there is a point in 2 people learning the same skill or a skill under the same umbrella, but different parts of it so they can both complement each other and aid each other, right? That 1 keeps each other accountable within a skill, and 2 minds are always, always better than 1. I know it contradicts what I said earlier, but if you have 2 minds that are kind of sophisticated in a specific skill, right? Maybe have different expertise under that skill umbrella, it's going to be much better than just having 1 person. So that's like the first topic. Excuse my horrible handwriting again, but building skills to aid team members and not replace them. Now again, when it comes to more like specific things, team management, I'm not sure if you guys can even see that, but team management is going to be insanely important and a huge factor when it comes to us improving and scaling. Just because if I can manage a team at a really, really high level, they're going to be compelled to perform at that really high level, which is then going to push the business, right? Super, super simple, just general logic, right? And yeah, honestly for this one, I've really only got two. Building skills to aid team members as well as team management are going to be some huge, huge factors when it comes to us scaling to that 100K a month mark, to that 7-figure run rate, whatever you want to call it, per year consistently, right? So yeah, essentially these are the three problems I've been facing and the problems we've been facing for the last 6 months or so, stopping us from scaling to consistent 100K months. And these are kind of the reasons why, as well as how I'm going to overcome them so we can scale to that mark within, the next quarter or two. Definitely by the end of this year we'll be at that mark at least, as long as something horrible doesn't happen, which I hope it doesn't. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys got some insight. If you did, you can subscribe. If you didn't, you don't need to subscribe. But I genuinely hope you found some value, and hopefully maybe you can implement some of the teachings and things that I've learned and some of the problems that I've had for the last 6 months and implement them in your own business, or maybe implement them somewhere in your life that can help. So again, appreciate you guys watching to the end, and I will chat to you guys very soon, probably in the next video. Again, part of my 20% is content, so I will be doing more videos on here as well as my social media. So the brand hopefully is going to blow up in the next few months or few years, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that is everything I've got to say today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, hopefully you guys had some takeaways, and I will see you guys in the next video.